Good day everyone, so hope you're doing really well. Recently on the channel we've been talking a bit about how well Kokomi and Furina can work together, and since Genshin Impact has now given us a new Spiral Abyss floor 12, we can see whether or not some of those ideas that we talked about still hold water or not. And what you'll see in today's video is me clearing all of the first halves of the new Abyss in less than 1 minute and 15 seconds. I do believe that from a C0 Furina perspective, this is more than reasonable enough for most people that are at the endgame stage. Obviously today is not about speed running, but it's all about just doing this as comfy as you can and to still see whether the Kokomi Taser team is still viable. Now, one of the things that happened when Kokomi came out was that you could obviously run Kokomi, Shinshu, Fischl, and Sucrose to get a very good and respectable Taser team. In fact, I still think that team in and of itself is very criminally underrated by the large majority of the Genshin Impact community, but regardless, what we now have instead of Shinshu is Furina, who can boost the entire team's attack and obviously provide like off-field damage whilst you are busy with your cooldown. So in the past when you used Shinshu, you had to use Kokomi or Sucrose's normal attacks to trigger his elemental burst to do the attacks alongside you. But what's so cool about Furina is that her summons keep on attacking even if you are busy repositioning or dodging or like doing some other setups, and I think that's just what makes this team so much more flexible, never minding the fact that Furina increases everybody's attack on the team, most notably Fischl, Kokomi and her own attack, so the amount of buffing that you're getting here is quite incredible. So from that perspective, you can see that this team I think is personally an upgrade over the old Taser team, and it is one that I would be very happy to recommend to most Kokomi mains to run in the Spiral Abyss. And I say this despite the fact that I'm making quite a lot of mistakes. You'll probably notice that there's some positioning errors, you'll notice something really funny in just a bit, but despite the flaws and stuff and execution problems, you'll notice that we are still doing relatively well. I think by most people, if you have 1 minute and 45 to clear the second half, then that's obviously very good. You can see here's the funny moment. I actually thought of like redoing the chamber, and then when I looked at the clock I was like, nah, you know what, doing this first try will just again further emphasize how comfy this team is and how much margin for error you have when playing this. The other thing that I like about Taser teams is that they're so deceptive in terms of all of these small little damage numbers very quickly adding up. Typically if someone sees a unit to 50,000 attack or like 80,000 hits or whatever, typically people would be like, ooh, that's a lot of damage. But when you have all of these little ticks and they're just adding up over time, it can be so satisfying to see how well you can beat up the enemies. By the way, here's just a little quick trick if you don't know this. To get these two heralds together, you just run to the corner, and then as you can see here, we obviously have them both grouped up for the Taser, which is so essential if you want to clear this chamber fast. In any case, so what I like about the Taser is, as you no doubt would have seen, is the fact that if you play relatively well enough, you should be able to reduce the enemy's health at roughly the same pace. Now obviously Furina will attack the targeted enemy or the one that you're currently attacking, so that's why you can see the differences in health between the two lectors. But if you had to play this optimally, you could arguably even beat this Abyss Chamber in under 1 minute, obviously assuming you've also got better builds than what I do. In any case, so here are the builds in the background. We've clearly beaten the Spiral Abyss already. This is the standard Kokomi that I've always been running since forever. Here is the C0 Furina. And before we close off this video, I must just say what I like about running a team like this is that a lot of people by now should have access to staple units like Sucrose, Shinshu, Fischl, Bennett. So running a team that you can see here once again, I don't think unreasonable for many people. In fact, this is a very fun team that I highly encourage you to try as well. With all of that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and any suggestions please leave down below in the comment section. Cheers.